Let's see. Let us go to April in Queens, the great WABC. How are you?
Hi, Mark. You must be getting old because you said you couldn't think of one way $1 billion can't be put to work in America. Well,
Yeah.
I can think of a way. These millionaires and billionaires and corporations are putting their money in overseas accounts and offshore tax havens. I mean, this country...
Well, what is an offshore tax haven? What is that?
Let's
Do you know
give
what
an
you're
example.
talking about? No. We're going to get right to the nub of this thing. What is an overseas tax haven?
Subsidiaries in offshore tax havens like the...
They're not tax havens, ma'am. Let me explain to you. Let me tell you why you don't know what you're talking about. That money, if it's earned here and put overseas, is not taxed again. And if it's earned here and put in a bank account, only the interest is taxed on it. What is an overseas tax haven?
Oh, you don't know what it is. Well, I think the IRS does.
No, but you need to explain it to the whole world because you just brought it up. What is it?
Did you hear me?
I said, what is it?
I said, these rich people.
No, I'm not asking you to attack people. I just asked you a very simple question, and now you're attacking people. I asked you, what is an overseas tax haven? Now explain it.
We talk or not?
No, because you're an ignoramus. I just asked you, what is an overseas
and I'm answering
tax
you.
haven?
I
Then
said,
do it.
These multinational corporations have no loyalty to this.
Okay, I'm going to ask you one more time, pal or lady. I'm going to ask you one more time to explain it without using your left-wing class warfare rhetoric.
And I'm going to tell you.
By the way, ma'am, do you know a lot of these overseas international corporations have invented drugs that are... Do you know heart stents were invented overseas by multinational corporations that sell them into this country? Did you know that, ma'am?
Do
you know we get all kinds of things from overseas corporations? Get out of here. You annoy me. I'm not... Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just going to attack a class of people, that's not going to fly. It's just not. All right, let's say I'm a billionaire. Let's play this out. And I decide to put my money overseas. First of all, why am I putting my money overseas? Am I getting a better return? Apparently so. So as a public policy matter, maybe we shouldn't have the highest corporate tax rate in the world, assuming I'm making my money through corporate means, right? That would be a good way to reduce it. I've even talked about it on this show. If we slash the corporate income tax, all these multinational corporations with all the money overseas, they would bring it to our country. But let's say I put the money in an account overseas, $1 billion. That's not the point. You can't control where somebody's going to put their money. There's no way we can't even control our border. You're not going to be able to control if that guy wants to put $1 billion in a bank in England. You're still not destroying anything. You're still not, the money's still working. It's just working in another place. But I got to tell you something. We have $1 trillion in red Chinese money in this country. If the red Chinese decided to think like April, you know what? We're not creating jobs in red China with this $1 trillion. We're going to have a little problem on our hands. I know there are the protectionist mentality, but the reason we have international trade in this country, with other countries, is because you want it. You want it by the choices you make on what services and products you purchase. The government wants it, which is why the government borrows monies from these countries overseas. You want what these other countries are producing, and they want, in many cases, what we're producing. What tends to happen is the government interferes with environmental regulations, with all kinds of rules, tax rules that are not beneficial to the citizens of this country. But what does that have to do with businesses doing business between countries, with citizens between countries? Do you use the Internet? Do you ever purchase anything overseas? But I don't know what these tax havens are that I keep hearing about. I know that liberals like to put that phrase on everything. Oh, there's a tax haven. But I don't know what they are. The only tax haven in this country I can think of, Mr. Producer, is General Electric. If you're a liberal, you're going to call up here with your cliches. You're going to have to explain them and defend yourself. And when I ask you three times, and you're out.